Hello everyone, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about the massive storm that is making its way across the central United States. We're going to be talking about the severe side of it in this video. As always, be sure to like and subscribe and to watch the video the whole way through to get the best weather content. We're going to get right into it here. Starting with the Storm Prediction Center activity chart, you can see the slight risk of severe weather from from Wisconsin all the way down into central Texas. And you can see the line of storms here. Pretty powerful line of storms that we're going to be tracking throughout this video. And of course, describing what kind of impacts it could bring. We do have a tornado watch for Illinois and Wisconsin around the Chicago areas and nearby Madison, Wisconsin as well. And of course, outside of that, we do have the marginal risk of severe weather, but I mean, there's not really much marginal. It's mostly the slight risk in this area. If we go over to the radar right now, you can kind of see where the line of storms is. Again, pretty much from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to Austin. And you can even see some thunderstorms up by Chicago. All right, so pretty potent line of storms, some heavy rain, some strong winds, some hail. Of course, all threats we could be dealing with. So if we look here at some mesoscale discussions real quick that have been released by the Storm Prediction Center, you can see the severe thunderstorm watch here sort of in this zone and marginal severe storm threat to continue over the next few hours. And this one for another severe thunderstorm watch down in central Texas nearby Austin. And here is one for the tornado watch. And you can see a severe weather threat will continue into the evening, of course, with these storms igniting. Of course, we're starting to lose that daytime heating now, but typically the storms still can persist through the night, and they most likely will do so tonight. And you can see storms to the east here, maybe nearby Chicago, Gary, Indiana. Storms likely in this zone to remain sub-severe, but could still bring some thunderstorms, maybe some thunder and lightning, and some heavy rain. So we're going to take a look at a couple of radar locations before we get into some of the modeling here. You can see in the Texas, here's Dallas and Fort Worth. And off to the south, we have a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings for some very strong storms. I mean, some of these cells are, I mean, they're like approaching 65, to 70 dBz, which is very high up on the radar. Like, there's only blues after that. And I'm not talking about like these blues. I'm talking about like deeper blues. So, severe thunderstorm warnings. We even had a tornado warning earlier between Waco and Bryan, Texas. You can see there's also a couple of flash flood warnings because, of course, you can see just the intensity of the rainfall here that is falling from these cells, these supercells, and these batches of thunderstorms right now. All right, a little bit further to the east now, we're going to move into Texas here, or sorry, eastern Texas around Shreveport, Louisiana. You can see it's kind of like the base radar here. Then you can see a severe thunderstorm warning. You can see here off to your north and west of Shreveport and west of Texarkana. And you can see it, some cells kind of like reigniting here. You can see right here. So, and even by Tyler, we're starting to see some thunderstorms ignite. So, with that last batch of the daytime heating, we're seeing these storms, kind of getting their last firing up chance, if you will. And here we go now into Chicago. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here. These batches of very severe thunderstorms, all accompanied with severe thunderstorm warnings as they track, of course. When they get over the water, they issue special marine warnings over the Great Lakes. And here's like your sub-severe storms off to your east over in Indiana. And again, still some pretty heavy rain not out of the question, and a flash flood warning back towards Peoria, Illinois. So if we look here at the day one convective outlook, you can see here a slight risk. Of course, I mean, this is kind of what I showed you towards the beginning, but just not with all the other things written all over it. So you can see here the slight risk, and of course that includes places like Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Austin, even San Antonio. All right, so definitely, and of course Shreveport as well, and then Memphis, Fort Worth somehow in that slim area of marginal. Laredo, Texas, Springfield, Missouri, and Lafayette, Louisiana, in that marginal risk. If we look at the tornado threat, that 5% zone, that higher chance is up to the north, makes sense, considering that's where the tornado watch is, but still a chance of tornadoes all the way down again from Wisconsin to Texas. If we look at the wind threat, pretty much where that slight risk was is where we're going to see the higher wind threat, the 15% zone right here. And for hail, we do have a hatched area, meaning a little bit higher of a threat than other areas. for San Antonio, for Austin, for Corpus Christi, for Waco, and for Killeen, Texas as well. And of course, we got that 15% zone outside of that. So if we take a look now, we're going to start diving into the models here. Let's take a look. This is the 21Z run of the high resolution model. 0Z run at the time of recording is not out fully yet. You can see these thunderstorms are going to be gaining, or kind of like spreading out, if you will. Still pretty strong, right? Accompanying some heavy rain, and strong winds. And you can see as it moves to the east, the storms will start to die out, but we still could see some rain. Of course, I mean, this is like the next warning, so of course the storms will die out. But you can see right now we got some pretty heavy thunderstorms down Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, down to places like Texarkana, Texas. If you look at the MLK, kind of the daytime heating that we have, this is around 5 p.m. Eastern time. And you can see in those blue areas, we have over 1,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. So we do have some decent instability and some decent heating in the atmosphere. And you can see down in Texas where we had, that's most likely why those storms are firing up that I showed you just earlier in like Texarkana and Tyler, Texas. Those CAPE values are like around 3,000 there. So about triple the instability in the daytime heating that most of these other areas see. So about 1,000 joules per kilogram here. We're down in your bottom left of your screen in Texas, about 3,000. So pretty high threat of severe weather when you look at it from the instability aspect. If we look here at the bulk wind shear, and here we can see as we start to, well, the whole page is highlighted there. As we continue to move forward, you can see the stronger wind shear kind of coming in behind it here. And if we take a look here, so stronger shear values, maybe upwards of like 85, 90 knots, are going to be coming in. You can kind of see the storms here bringing in a little bit of shear. Not as much. Usually the shear, the majority of it waits till the storms pass. But if that were to come through while the storms were present, as you can kind of see it already, you can already see some of the shear building in. And you can see where the line of storms is at this point. Or you can start to see a lot of problems there. So there's the shear kind of making its way in. Of course, the storms will be clearing out ahead of that. But if we take a look here on the same model run, just on a different website, here you can see the ML Cape and wind crossovers, which is why I kind of like to use this map. So you can still see the ML Cape here, but what we do see, especially places like Arkansas, is winds at the surface are coming out of the south. Winds at 5,000 feet are coming out of like the southwest, right? And then winds at 500 millibars, all right, so even higher up. I believe it's around 10,000 feet, but it could be higher. But you can see the winds coming out almost out of the west-southwest, so almost a due west direction. And I was kind of close. It was about a little over 16,000 feet here. So surface winds again out of the south, maybe like a west-southwest wind out of the west-southwest wind here at 16,000 feet or so. And of course, we got the winds coming nearly from due south at 850 millibars here. So winds are turning with height, which means we can get some rotation for tornadoes. But you can see it's more prevalent. If we go back a little bit here, go forward, I should say, to right here, you can see like in Missouri, for example, we got winds coming out of the south of the surface, then out of the southwest, both at 850 millibars and 500 millibars. So more obvious turning with height to the north, hence the tornado watch. So it does make sense for up there. All right. So if you look at the supercell composite here, where we can see some supercells break out over the next couple of hours here, and you can see. Here's the general area. We do have a couple areas in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Illinois that have a higher ranking here on the supercell composite. And if we look here, you can see the storms kind of move their way off to the east and kind of start to fade out, of course, as the supercell map fades out here. All right, if we take a look here at the significant tornado parameter, kind of seeing where those higher tornado threats are, you can see if we go down here to Texas, for example, we do see some cells that could carry some tornadic activity with them. And of course, you can see a little batch up there in Illinois as well. So definitely something to be looking out for over the next few hours. And of course, by the time we wake up in the morning, these storms should be all dead for the most part. So what's going to be happening over the next couple of days here? Let's give a little preview into the future. So we do have a marginal threat for places like Houston, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Lafayette, Louisiana, as we head into tomorrow or Friday. And then for like Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, we do see a marginal risk there as well. Tornado risk kind of staying down to the south. Louisiana, Mississippi, maybe about a 2% tornado risk. And then the wind, again, slight areas, again, pretty much where the marginal risk was is where the wind's going to be, most likely. And then for the hail, so really no much chance of hail further north. So the hail will be covering the southern areas. But still, that's 13 million people, as you can see by the graph there. And for reference today, we have 39.4 million people in the slight risk and 12 million in the marginal risk. So that's about 51.4 million people affected by severe weather just today alone. So it's a lot of people. And day 3 here, you can see about 33 million people are going to be affected here on Saturday. Maybe with that coastal storm I'll start talking about in the last video. Something could develop out of that, but you can see the storm moving off the coast there. But yeah, Virginia, Carolinas down to Florida. And of course, that slight risk from Savannah, Georgia, up the Carolina coast and to places like Wilmington, North Carolina. And Central Texas as well. And we could see a little bit, like in San Antonio, we do have a marginal risk there as well. So thank you guys for watching. That is the massive storm that is trekking across the central United States. Of course, we got the snow to the north. We did discuss the severe weather portion in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am the Weather Dude signing off. Till next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.